Hello, my name is Bobby O'Perry. This is the 11th episode of BPerryFilms Podcast. Today, we will be discussing Podcast 101, how to get started, and tools to help you get started with your podcasting journey. Today's guest, we have Richard Hatcher. He is a podcaster and new to YouTube. His channel is called the P.O.E Cast, Cold Hard Facts, where he goes in depth about educating people about things that go on in life. And we'll both be sharing our experience of what it's like to be a podcaster visually and also through audio. So, Richard, you can introduce yourself.
Welcome. Thank you for having me here, Bobby. When it comes to that podcast, we call it, it's pod. I call it POE, P-O-E. It stands for Provide Official Entertainment, Provide Official Education for the people on Earth. And, that's a whole different story because everybody on this planet is not from this planet, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, it's called the P.O.E Cast, Cold Hard Facts. You can tune in right now. We're just throwing out videos and, just seeing where getting our feet wet, trying to see what the audience, and you say developing the audience is figuring out the right time to include people. Sometimes we have kids series, so you want to reach out to kids and their parents for that series. Sometimes we might have hip hop, so I'll reach out to the hip hop fans. So, branding and connecting. It's good though. One day at a time. We're all learning, as you see. And thank you for having me. And listen, we came a long way, man.
We sure have.
Definitely, bro.
Yeah, it's been a journey. So we'll start out. What is a podcast in your definition?
Honestly, it's just a forum to be able to talk to the public, but in a one-on-one phase or alone. It's just really it's like our own separate way of delivering the news. That's what it basically is. And whatever news you want to deliver, whatever it is that's on your mind you want to talk about. So you get to sit down and you create that forum. So whatever it is, so like you have yours doing business, and again, salute. Look at all the plaques in the background. Working hard to get what you got to get. And the same thing as you see here, man, it's just creating an ambiance to tell your story. It's like doing Facebook or doing Instagram, what with words and not just pictures. You know what I mean? And getting involved with the people out there instead of just looking for the view or the click, but to actually click in with people mind just like you. So, it's a journey.
Interesting thing about podcasts. Most people think a podcast just the audio, but we watch it on TV all the time, broadcasting, YouTube. It seems like every YouTuber that I follow is starting a podcast, and I think by having this episode, we can tell people what worked for us, what didn't work for us, how we maneuver through things to get a better understanding of how we interact with our audience, whether it's pre-recorded or live streaming.
Right.
So the first type of podcast is educational. You can tell us about how do you give information to your audience?
Me personally, I love to go live. I don't. Well, let me take that back because I have a little motto I do. I don't go live, I am live. So we do live and exist in an exact time that's moving forward. So my thing is to tap in real time, have real conversations in real time, real emotion conversations. So like the Rittenhouse case, like going live, because people want to speak, they want to be heard, and everybody doesn't have that form that they can tap into. So I just try to create a forum that didn't lock you into genre or how smart you were, or what your class rate was as far as economics, but for the common folk, the forklifter, the Target worker, the Walmart worker, the ones who get left out, the ones that they could consider as lower class. So I created a forum for that, so as to be able to speak to people and, see what we have to say in our own little area. Everybody needs to have a good podcaster in their area. So
yes,
you need an outlet for people.
I definitely agree with that. What's interesting about YouTube and other platforms like Twitch is that you don't always have to look at the person to consume that information. It gives you the option to listen to it as well because you have the audio form. So you can listen to it on your way to work, doing the dishes, cleaning the house. You have some friends over, let's watch that video. To
be honest with you, a lot of times I watched a lot of podcasts. So I like say the Breakfast Club. I'm at work and I have the video playing in my pocket because I might not go on iHeart. You know what I mean? So you said having all those many different platforms, you never know how people receive your information. So you want to have it visual and audio. If you're visual, then you're already audio. Sometimes they don't even look, you know. Sometimes they can just hear you. So going visual, you're gonna always have that audio with you. Audio, a lot of people, I do audio with people who don't want to be on camera. Most of the time, audio for me is a lot of people when I deal with them is because they don't want to actually be on camera. So, you know, we just put the little.
Let me tell you, being on camera is awkward. It doesn't matter how far along you are on your podcast journey. It's always going to be weird filming yourself, and you got to be your toughest critic, because if you don't like it, other people are going to notice the littlest mistake, even if it's like a 0.2.
Be yourself. Like, being yourself is the biggest thing you can ever do when it comes to being a podcast, being original. Being you is original. Everybody tries to mimic what somebody else is doing, what somebody else is wearing. You know, we're always trying to mimic instead of create. And so the best creation that you could ever have, and that's original, is you. So it's trying to figure like washing off all the things that we're taught and all the things that we become accustomed to through tradition and just words that we speak every day, and finding out who you really are, digging in, and then putting that out there for the people. Sometimes you might think nobody in your area likes you. You jump up here and realize you got 2 million fans.
That's true.
So you can't worry about today. The blessing is that we have this ability to communicate live time from New Jersey to Boston. You know, that's a beauty in itself. So I encourage everybody to get into some type of form of grouping up and putting your groups together, your people together, and creating great content, whatever it may be. And not being afraid of what somebody's going to think about you. Because if that's the case, you might as well not even start, because you're going to always have a hater. And your haters are honestly your best fans because they pay so much attention to you. So, you know, that's how you just got to look at it, man. To anybody, just
definitely
feel is best and let the universe speak for itself. Don't listen to other people.
You're always learning what your audience is, because even with my videos, some people are not into finance. Some people are. Some people are into health and wellness. So I have videos for that.
Right.
Some people want to learn how to give back to the community, whether it's through donation or through charity. We got a video for that, just educating people on ways of how you can implement this experience with others if it touches you in some type of way.
Right. The biggest thing I figured out, I started realizing, you know, learning by trial and error, is that, like you said, my forum is a media center. So you'll have getting wasted with A on that segment. You might have the Wreck and Storm show, and then you'll have cold hard facts like I do, Angels and Aliens.
That was a good video, by the way.
Thank you. To me, those are the ones I like to do. A lot of times you see me laughing and joking with somebody else, or somebody else is there, it's for them. Because like I said, people come in here and do their own sessions. I get the blessing to be able to put their sessions on the page and just show like what's a variety of what's going on. It's like my personal cheat sheet for the world. You can come here and you come into my page is like going to a one-stop shop. You might just want to get something laugh. Let me go hit this one. You know, so it's like trying to figure out how to place your material is like the hard. It's like jokes. It's like you gotta have it in the right place. So like I'm realizing now, like what I love to do, I have to take off of that forum and create a whole nother forum for YouTube, so it doesn't blend so much. Sometimes you don't want to go search. I just want to know what you're doing. So you have to be a little bit selfish. So, you know, I love giving, I love making and working for everybody and making it work as a team. But like I started realizing, like I had to also be selfish. I had to like take something of my own, like I'm telling everybody else, and take that and master that. You know, so I love to do education. I love to do open minds. I like to keep people awoke. I like to keep them awoke, and if they haven't been awakened yet, wake them up.
That's why that most people say try to find your niche. How do you find your niche is by doing research. You can not only just watch videos, because I feel like a lot of people are stealing content from others and just putting their name on it, but actually like reading books, reading articles. Like what happened to people doing everything handwritten or taking notes, taking all these different philosophies and listening to a TED Talk. Like when you watch TED Talk videos, you see that they might have similar stories, right, but there's a little bit some originality to them. It's like we can all try to go the same career path, but we're all going to have different obstacles. Right. So finding your niche is kind of like that. Where in finance do you want to go into? Like, is it going to be how to budget, how to save, how to go into real estate, how to pay off student debt, stuff like that.
Right.
It's a very broad topic, but you just need to narrow down what you want to be focusing on.
That's like you said, the hardest critic is yourself sometimes. You think, I gotta keep switching it up and changing it, but you can create a perfect picture and then tomorrow say, I need a little bit of yellow more. And today it's perfect. So, like I said, when you're in the moment, allow that moment to be as fresh as it can be, and allow it to just allow it to just work. You never know. The one song that you do, if you're an artist, that you think that's just a joke, becomes your hottest album, like Busta Rhymes and Woo-Ha. It was a joke to him. He was like, we're having fun. Ended up being one of your hottest singles. So, it's just be yourself. I encourage everybody to be themselves, and you got to know these programs. You want a live, you need to know about the Streamlab programs, OBS programs, Zoom. We had an issue today because I'm not really into Zoom, but it's a learning lesson. But you have to learn these things. Anybody can grab their phone and FaceTime and say something. And like I said, rich people do it all day long, get paid. They don't have to spend the material and take the time that we do. They already have an audience. So when you come from the bottom, you have to build an audience. And that's like going to school, it's homework. And a lot of people don't realize it's work. Before you see them famous, they were working. And I think that's what they need to start teaching and showing the work ethic it takes to be here. So I show all my bloopers. I show all the ones that didn't edit right, the vocab, everything was met. I show them and I tell them, watch, learn from these, because 2 months from now, they're all going to be a lot different. They're going to be a lot sharper, creased out perfectly. The changes are coming in. So like say, I give out showing them. My education is showing you it don't always work the first time. You're not going to jump up here the first time and have the perfect angle. That's why you take a million pictures to do. Just take one to send one. You got to find that perfect angle. So, it just takes a lot of dedication and love for yourself and the craft that you're into. That's all. If you don't have that, you're going to fall off eventually. You got to have a love and a passion for what you do.
Even when people always ask me, how do I go about making videos? Sometimes it could be a subscriber that reaches out. Some people message me through Instagram. I believe even if I meet someone in person, I'm like, we need to have this in writing, because like when you're using words, it doesn't really mean anything. I'm not saying that what they're saying doesn't matter, but it's like until you have it in cold hard paper in front of you,
Yes.
The conversation means nothing and nothing can be done. What's interesting about my method of doing this is that after they reach out to me or I reach out to them, I have them doing homework assignments, whether it's on wealthfulness, philanthropy, what it means to be an artist or entertainer, what's the difference, and make sure that they have at least an extensive amount of experience. Small business, I kind of understand. Yeah, it's good because you want to make sure that these people are legitimate for the audience, because whatever you say, they're going to take it for fact. But we're just speaking through our experience.
Yeah, everybody's experience is going to be different. So, but you can learn from others. It's the smartest way to learn. You don't have to always, smart man learns from his mistakes, but an even smarter man learns from the mistakes of others. So, like you said, you're creating the actual platform that they don't have to make the mistakes. That's what it's all about. As long as it's pure in your heart, man. The devil makes money, but when it's pure in your heart, you're going to always succeed. It's not about $1. It's about a feeling. It's about an inspiration. It's about knowing that you left something behind that somebody can eat on forever, like an everlasting type of water or food that you feed them. Instead of some hot song now or hot topic now, but like giving them something that they can grow on later on. They can go back and watch and go, still learning. Like the Bible, you can always go back and read it, still learn something new. That's what you teach, and that's the best thing about what I like what you're doing. I like to go
off. Definitely, even research your competitors. You're just like, you don't really have competition because you're new, but there could be room where other creators haven't touched on. There's a lot of things that we can learn about. We'll say a math equation. What's 2 + 2? It equals 4. But how do we know that's 4? You come to Google for factual answers. You come to YouTube to get the whole story behind the philosophy of how does it equal 4 instead of 5 or 3 or whatever number that it could be,
You have to be very open-minded going live. You have to be very objective. You cannot be subjective going live, because you have cases and things that go on and you give your feelings and emotions and be wrong. The hardest part about that's easy for me because I'm just an open-minded and objective person. I never believe the first story or the second. I believe what I research and know, not what somebody else tells me. You know, you have to research the information that's given to you. But
people don't like doing homework, and that's the first step of starting anything. The only way that you can be a teacher is if you're a student first. You learned it as a child.
The thing with podcasting is everybody's not a teacher. It's entertainment too. That's why I say we provide official entertainment and education, because too much education is like, you know, filling a glass of water. Too much, it starts to just overflow. And they can't absorb it anymore. So you have to give them some fun and some jokes and some plays in there. It's like vegetable, like your vegetables. You want to give somebody information, the kids your vegetables, put it in applesauce. Sometimes you have to manipulate your audience the same way, because it's all this is acting at the end of the day. It's all acting. You get in front of the camera and you're presenting a person, you're presenting a part of you. And that same part of you is not necessarily the same part it is when you're with your parents or with your child. You know what I mean? When you're with your friends. So you have to figure out the whole thing about, to me, when it comes to podcasting and just being visual and expressing yourself, is really knowing who you are and identifying with who you are. Because if you get caught in fads, you're gonna fade out fast. And like for me, this is my bread and butter. This is how I'm trying to eat. This is how I'm striving. I don't want to say trying. This is how I strive to eat. So I go hard. I go hard to paint. And when it comes to other people I look at people like Charlamagne and say, I don't like the way that he's very smart and intellectual. But I feel like sometimes he does things, he's poking the bull, trying to see what he can arouse. And I be like furious watching things like that. I be feeling like I want to do a podcast on what he just said. Mm-hmm. So then I realized, like, no, it's about being
starts the discussion. Yeah.
Intellectuals, just being intellectuals, knowing how to stimulate your crowd and your audience to keep them going. So content is definitely content and a purpose.
Don't you feel like there's a one-to-one connection with you and your audience, and you're trying to build that conversation with them? Like, yeah, he answered my question, or yeah, he's saying what I'm thinking, or no, I don't agree with what they're saying.
Right.
But with YouTube, Twitch, I think you can write comments, or even with your live stream, you can see people commenting. And sometimes you even have people, I know on StreamYard, they can be featured on your video.
Yeah,
and you have that
conversation. Call-ins. Yeah. That's the hardest part though, doing a video call-in and then the video starts lagging on you in the midst of going live. Like that's the word, and it turns your audience off immediately, because everybody's got a short attention span. Once you get them, you got to keep them. Mm-hmm. So it's even in the business of it all. Like you still have to have your ducks in a row. You have to have your ducks in a row. You can get your feelings hurt your first time out if you don't have your ducks in a row. So yeah.
Even if you don't even have the money for a team, like I do everything myself, and I try to schedule like a big block window for the recording, because there could be technology issues. Like right before I even start our Zoom link, I make sure that I do like my own individual one. I have 2 Zoom accounts, one personal, one business. And I make sure that the technology works, the recording button works. Yeah, things cost money when you're running a business. All those things that used to be free, not free.
Yeah, like you said, with doing pre-recorded, to me is so much easier, because you can always go back and edit out. Mm-hmm. Like you said about going, like I said, for me, it's the live, because I want that live interaction. If I stimulated something that sparked in you, I want you to feel free to be able to tap in or call in. You know, you want a video chat, you want the world to see your face, come on in. Mm-hmm. Because you're going to be dealing, but I let everybody know at the end of the day, no matter what we're talking about, you're dealing with an intellectual. I'm an intellectual. So I would never allow you to come to the platform and throw something out there. I'll let you throw it out there, but I'm going to always correct and fix from my own personal beliefs and perspectives on things. Like I said, I try to leave that word belief out, facts and fiction, deal with the facts. You know, if you don't truly know, then you just don't know. You can assume, but make sure you say you're assuming, you know, allegedly. Use those words. Not a lot of times now we're talking like dealing with podcasting, because I'm talking about more the ones that I'm around a younger age group. I'm 45. A lot of my artists and people that I deal with and other artists and crews that I run with, they're in their 30s. Just fresh 30, 25, 17, 16. So I'm listening to them. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like the middle child, like J. Cole says. I hear them speaking, and then I hear my elders speaking. And so I'm pretty much the, what would it
Like
be?
the neutral party.
Yeah, I'm the independent party in the middle who's basically converting the languages back and forth because the old don't speak like the young.
That's true.
You're too young, you don't understand what an old person is, what an elder is saying to you. Yeah, they're out of reach. They're still doing bell bottoms from the 70s and you're wearing skinny jeans. Your brains don't think alike, you know, but I grew up in the era of the whole change and the whole hip hop era. My community is the hip hop generation, Generation X. So like, that's my form. I'm talking to those guys, but at the same time, I'm talking to them, which are in my age limit. I'm trying to get them to remember our elders are still alive. So you need your elders, you need that information, and your youth are here. You need their information, and then somebody needs to sit in the middle and figure out a way to negotiate a peaceful way of living for us all. You know, so like you said, man, podcasting me is beautiful. I get the goosebumps just being able to sit here and talk to you, man. Like I can remember when you had to grab a phone and a cell phone was a 20-foot phone cord. Like I remember walking around the house, like upstairs and downstairs, because my cord was that long to where I thought I had it was a cell phone back then. So like just to see the change in life and my age. And I try to promote that to the youth, like pay attention that you're young, but you've seen so much in your youth. And if you can look at an older person, say they don't know what they're talking about, and they're 20 years older than you, say you're 20, say you're 30, and the person's 20 years younger than you, then just go backwards and talk to somebody 20 years older than you, talk to somebody 20 years younger than you, and watch how they tell you sound ridiculous.
Definitely.
Who's the best artist? Jay-Z. Right now it's Little Baby to a young kid. 10 years older than that is Drake. So everybody's favorites until we live in different time zones. And I want to, in this forum, we allowed to be able to crush the time zone and merge everybody into the same spot in the same mind. You know, so if you didn't do this, how would I be able to have this conversation?
It's true.
If you didn't do this, how would I learn how to do a Zoom today? Like, that's the beauty of it all. Like, just the fact that you want to tell somebody something. A lot of us are afraid to do it, but it's nothing to fear. Like, just be the best that you can be. And don't worry about if it works right like theirs or you look like them. Look like you, be you, dare to be different, dare to be you. And it will work for you. Like, there's no way to do it. Soulja Boy did it with Fruity Loops and made millions when you had super producers running around here and artists that are getting millions and millions of dollars. There's no forum. People are making millions off of doing bracelets.
That is true.
Money is easy. It's easy to make money. We're just not geared to make it. We're geared to spend money on it. So we got to get our people to start thinking about how to generate our ideas into fruition. Give us something tangible.
And I have a video on that, goal setting and vision boards. Start out with that. Everyone's like, let's wait until January 1st. I'm like, why aren't you starting now? You know?
Right.
Everyone starts out with that resolution board and they don't really commit to it, whether it's like going to the gym, trying to lose weight, get tone. After a couple of weeks, the memberships go down. I started journaling. It was suggested by one of the people that I had featured on the podcast. I initially thought, let me not act like the people that say that they're too busy, even though I really am. Right. But I'll set at least 20 minutes once a week to do it or twice a week to do it. I think I'm on journal entry number 9 now. Okay. And it's been very helpful getting all my thoughts down and just making a blueprint for myself. I'm very visual. I like having text. Like even with this podcast, I only have like a little bit of bullet point notes. So nothing's really staged. So just putting that out there, right, just in case anyone's watching. None of this is staged at all. I give everyone homework assignments of what we're going to be talking about, but these are their opinions of what's going on. These are my opinions. And hopefully we have some valuable content that keeps you guys wanting to watch more. Right. The next one would be doing it yourself versus doing with a panel. Do you find it harder working with other people, easier for you, or how does that feel?
It's easy if you're working with other people, if they work for you. If you have everything and you're basically giving them jobs that they're willing to do because they see it's going to work for them. Other than that, it's hard to work with other people because everybody, as far as that I realize, everybody has their own ideas. And as soon as they see you doing something, they're quick to tell you what they think you should do while they're not moving to do it themselves. And so then you start taking on other people's ideas and what they think, and that can consume you. That drove me crazy. I stopped podcast. I stopped doing everything for about 2 weeks because I had to regroup. Like, hold up, this is what I want to do. And y'all making me not love it. You're making me feel like it's a job. So I stepped back. I regroup, and then I start over again. Like I said, to me, I'll give it to you all. I give it to you, the bloopers, the good, the bad, when the video wasn't up to par, when it wasn't that. I give it to you all. And I always say in all my segments, and this is my marketing method. It gets better as you go. And I'm showing you it doesn't start off easy. So if you want to do a podcast, you see me go live. I got cameras, microphones, roadcasters. I got all the equipment you could possibly want. But if you don't know how to work it correctly, if you don't have your upload speed up on your computer, if your Wi-Fi not running right, you can't go live. Like it becomes like when you get into this, you realize it's a job. It really
is
a fun job if you love it. People make money off of this all day long. Newscasters can hate their job. But if you love this, then all the adversity it makes you smile. Every obstacle to me is like, okay, I move forward because I got a new obstacle. Something has to ground you. So it's about how you look at things, how you perceive life, how you perceive it. It's a cup half empty, it's a cup half full. So like with podcasting, I know a lot of it's about how to work it, but the biggest part to me about how I want to work it is knowing how to work you. You have to get you in order and know what it is that you want to do first. And then you can go. You don't have to be perfect going. But once you're perfect with what you know you want, then you can go ahead and give it to the world. You said Milli Vanilli wasn't singing, was they? Like, they did great lip singing, but it was great for the world. It was great for that time period, So do what you do. Don't let anybody tell you it's right. Don't let anybody tell you it's wrong. Do what you do. But as soon as you involve other people, to me, I feel like I stopped being me. I lost the love. And so like being your own boss is great. Being your own boss is great. And going live on your phone for Facebook is you being your own boss. Sending a video or picture is you
But I
being
will
your own
say
boss.
that if you're going to be your own boss, you got to make sure that you're accountable for everything that you do, say, or whatever.
Exactly.
I know some people, they don't want that responsibility.
That's why they shouldn't talk. They shouldn't do it. They shouldn't do it. They shouldn't go live. They should go.
Pre-record and see how that works and then eventually go live if that works for you. But I think it does take a certain personality to keep the crowd going constantly, especially when some podcasts can range between 2 to 4 hours. I'm researching and I'm like, how do they keep people's attention for that long,
Visuals,
Like,
pictures,
yeah, that too.
audio, like throwing in those clips. Just watch others. I learned from watching. I sit back and watch all podcasts, all of them. I go through them. Of course, I'm going to miss a lot.
I think the
There's so
longest
many out there, but
it was
I
about
watch.
2 hours. Yeah. I think that's my limit for now, but I do come back to the video the next day, kind of like reset myself.
For 2 hours and 4 hours is long. That's a movie.
Yeah.
That's Titanic. 4 hours. You talking 4 hours? Watch the Titanic in 3 hours is some change. So yeah, it is kind of long. You break them in segments though. You have a 4 hour and break it into segment. 30-minute segment here, 30-minute segment here. I watch
But
guys.
this is a live stream, so I'm like, yeah, that's a lot. But they had a huge panel of people, so I can somewhat understand. But if it's just one person, yeah, that can be a long time.
Henry Ford did it. He didn't know how to build a car, but he knew how to get the right people around to do it. So it definitely can be done. It just doesn't work for me. That's why I said I don't knock anybody's methods. It just didn't work for me. But each his own, you have to know what's best for you, what works for you. Some people play baseball, some people play football, some people read books, some people write books. So just knowing who you are, knowing what you are. And you have to be ready for the criticism.
Now we're gonna go into interviewing style. I did mention mine. I feel like everybody has a role when it comes to being on a podcast. Usually there's a topic that's being discussed, whether it's an artist coming in to promote an album or a concert, whether someone's about to be the new mayor coming in. How do you go about approaching each person? And what do you find, what method works for you the best?
There's no one method that works the best. Because like I said, I have, was it Bubba Baker? Bubba Baker, the football player. He played for Cleveland, I believe. But he was on Shark Tank. He created the boneless rib. You gotta go look him up. There's Bubba, what's it, Bubba? Yeah. But he created the boneless rib. He was on Shark Tank. And getting an interview with him was crazy because his accolades for most of it we would know is football. And he doesn't want to talk football. That's where I used to be. Let's talk about these boneless ribs. So, like, to me, I'm a character within itself. So it was easy for me to just laugh and joke and just have a great time, but it all depends how it comes. Sometimes I have a person to walk in and they want to go live. And most of the time I'm hosting. So I come up here and I have to have Reckless World 7, Mr. El Vlago, that character comes out, laugh, joke, have a great time, but stay on point as much as I can. And then going live, when you get that air gap time, and nobody's saying nothing, you have to, you got to hit the button to make something like that.
That's funny.
So like when I'm going, like I have to pay attention to all of that going live. That's what I said, like for me, I'm so fascinated with live right now. It's kind of hard to talk about anything else because it's so trivial for me. But I come as I am, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So when they come to see me, they already know who you're dealing with. I won't be here laughing and joking and then ask you, so who was you with last night? I don't play those games with people. I'm pretty much genuine. And if you're paying to come on here, then I'm gonna do what you asked me to do. It's your dollar, If it's my world, then welcome to Reckless World.
What's your thoughts on Hot Topic podcasts? Yours would definitely be one of them.
I watch them. I do some. I love them. I can't even lie. I love them. I love hip hop. I'm into hip hop. I'm a hip hop baby, so that's my thing. I watch all the things going on in hip hop because that's what runs our generation right now, is our youth. Hip hop runs our generation. They tell them what to wear, what to like, how to think, what drug to use, what drug not to use. Hip hop runs our children right now. It's everywhere.
I was featured on my friend's podcast, Boston Loud 92, and his is really hot topics, like something that's trending that you just found out maybe like an hour ago. It's like the first one to know, and I'm just like, can you send me the list of things that you want me to talk about so I'm like prepared? So but the way that he does it is that he has like a group of panel. Sometimes he brings up people to the audience. His whole motto is to get people off the streets and entertained in their home and feel like they're part of a community, which I think is like amazing.
Right.
And the way that he's able to go full in depth, kind of like a news reporter, and keep you really engaged. It's like, it's not about what his opinion is. He'll pull up a link and you can see the article or watch the video, and we'll go into a full on depth of what's your thoughts on this. There's no right or wrong on this, but we just did an episode yesterday on gun control and how it shouldn't be appropriate for people to bring guns to school, shooting up places, bombings, killings, and stuff like that. Where do we come to a point where we used to do like fighting with your fists, or even with dancers, fighting with movement? And how do we just step back and not want to bring harm to people, but learn how to walk away and come back the next day and be like, I didn't agree with what you said. This is what we can work on. That person then gets feedback, and you kind of learn from that experience, and everybody lives and can move on.
You have to tread real carefully when you're on Hot Topics.
Yeah. You
just have to. And then, like I said, most people that I watch do Hot Topics, and in order to keep the crowd going, they already give it off an opinion in their footnote. Such and such, boom, makes you look at it. Whatever picture they have up on that front makes you click. And then once you click, if you're not entertaining them with rhetoric half of the time, an opinion, they want to hear a wicked opinion so they can argue about it. And so that's a technique, but it also harms the people who watch it, because you're giving out information or a mindset to people who are not responsible yet for it. So when you have a murder case, or you have whatever's popular, and people start going in, and I think, actually, when I watch a lot of them, a lot of times, the person who's narrating what they is actually giving off, telling the police or whoever idea of how to look at something. Because a lot of times you get involved in a case, you know nothing about it, you start giving your opinion, then 2 weeks later you find out something new. Nipsey was killed by this because he said he was a rat. And then 2 weeks later, you find out, no, that wasn't it. He was doing business with this and he was working with, then you find out 3 weeks after that. So hot topics are hot topics like that. I just like to say, I say what it is, and that's it. I don't like to give my opinion. You have to be real careful with hot topics. Like you said, you can get worked off of doing it. TMZ does it all day long. So I can't tell you what to do. It's about what's morally right for you. You know, it's really a moral thing for each.
And setting boundaries for yourself. Yeah, definitely. So we talked about live streaming, and you said that's your favorite preferred method. Any tips for someone going live stream for the first time?
Make sure your lag, make sure your Wi-Fi upload speed is at least 11, 12, 14%. If you want to, listen, I can sit here all day long with that. I'm just going to say this to you real quick. If you're going live and I go live where I'm changing the cameras, I have different cameras. So my live is changing the cameras. In one camera with a green screen with a background scene. Over here, you're sitting over here in this scene, and I'm going back and forth like you're watching the news. To me, going live is I want to give you that. I want you to capture the moments. So I'm hitting the screen when this person's talking. It's on them. When this person's talking, it's on them, and that within itself keeps you around for another half an hour if you're doing it right. And then you can stop because I love music, so I always take independence. I'm the independent. If you have independent music. And as long as you're not shooting at somebody in the song, it's not like a beef song, I'm putting it up for you. So I can be going live.
Yeah, artist for you.
You might wink and say, you got to go to the bathroom. And, hey, we're going to get a commercial break. Boom, boom. And all I did was put the video up, put the video on this playing, cut the mics off. We go run, do what we do, and run back like the old school radio stations used to do. But like I said, there's something you have to love because it's not easy. You have to learn it. I'm learning it. I be stressed out. I'll be arguing. I'll be getting moody with other people. That's not my thing. I'll be like, just let me chill. Because it's a passion. Like I said, to me, it's a passion. I have to love it. And going live is a monster. Going live is like NFL against P.O.E League. Because you're caught. Whatever you do, you hit. You hit. If you go back and try to delete the video, they're talking about you.
That's true.
So the preferred way, if you want to stay in the game long and you're not really good with off the top thinking, as you see, I'm just off the top. This is how I am. I'm full of information. I'm a bug of information. Don't go live. If you're going to go live, make sure it's on your Facebook with your friends but you try to go to the community in the other world, like the baker down the street or Miss May who works at the clerk's office. You want to get in touch with them, they're watching around you. You know, see, I really watch what you say and how you deal with things. So going live is a responsibility.
It is.
It's a responsibility. Like a great responsibility. And I use Streamlab and OBS, Streamlab OBS. And I use regular OBS. I'm going to tell you now, they're free and they work. But when you want all the things that you really want to do, you're going to pay $12.99 a month. For the certain clicks and features, you want to have your Cash App logo at the bottom and your logo over here. You're going to pay for it. So,
and some of the services, you can get it annually and you get it for a discount.
Annually, yep. So, like I said, you really should take a lot of time to think before you start to move. Once you start moving, you should have thought about this 6-7 months on end, 2-3 months, whatever it takes for you to craft your understanding of what it is to do. You really need to know what your direction is. And once you have that direction, you have that spiritual mindset, whatever it may be, you just come like a lion. You roar. You know, people are not going to like you. People are going to be like, Bobby, why he's doing it, man. And Bobby's got great people coming on his podcast. He's doing great interviews. He's studying diligently. He's spending his money on his craft. Those are the people I like to involve myself with. If you're not spending your money into whatever it is you love to do, if you're an artist, if you're not buying paints and canvases, then why are we talking? I love to do this. And I'm spending all my dollars and my time and energy because before dollars, the most important thing is time.
I think people look at all these podcasters, all these big YouTubers, and if you watch the behind the scenes videos, the first thing that they say is you have to be consistent and the recording is the easiest part. Right. The editing can take you hours to days. Like for my 45-minute to maybe like an hour and a half segments, I'm really editing for about 3.5 hours at most.
Indeed.
But Well, my documentary that I did for my grandmother, it took me 80 hours and 2 weeks, and I did everything myself. Right. So that's a lot of hard work and dedication. And if you take your time, put in that effort, don't look at that clock, just focus on producing. Be consistent, be knowledgeable, learn from your mistakes, be fine detailed. Just do all these things and you'll make it far.
Definitely.
Now we're going to go into how do you get started now that we gave everyone some idea of what type of podcasts that they may be interested in. Right. So I wrote down, you have to be self-aware. If you don't know yourself, how's the audience going to know who you are? And if you don't have self-awareness, everything can be sloppy. You become inconsistent. You have all these negative traits. Not saying that you're a bad person or can't do anything, but if you don't believe in yourself and know what your values are and what you're worth, right, you can't fake it to your audience. They're gonna think less of you, and you might not get any views at all.
Exactly. Hit it on the button. What can I say? What can I actually say? You hit it on the button. You actually hit it on the button. It's really that simple, but that hard.
Definitely.
It's easy to say it. It's hard to do it.
What's your second step that you think would go into starting a podcast?
For me, it was just the will, the wanting to do it, the necessities of doing this, and what I thought I could bring to the community. So I thought that what I had was beautiful, to the point where I want to water my seed so it can grow. Once I had that in tune, the next thing was, well, how do I want to operate? How do I want to do it? Do I want to have a single camera? I just want to use my computer. How do I want to present myself? Like, you get dressed in the morning. You put on clothes to present yourself to the world when you walk out. So I look at this as my clothing. How do I want to dress when I'm doing this? That was my next thing. So I've got all the things that you could think of that would be in 105, Breakfast Club, Gilly the Kid, and then I got all the same roadcaster equipment, all the same equipment. It's still knowing what to do with it, because you can have all this and not even need it. Like, I got to spend $300 on a media changer. I just hit the buttons, and I'm just using my computer, not even using it. I'm clicking through the computer, changing my screens. So like I said, I don't have nobody taught me this. I didn't get any instructions. I had to learn like everybody else. I had to watch, see it, and be interested. And I was interested in watching, so I paid attention to detail. Why was that so hard? Why do people like this? Like, oh, the footnote caught me right here. Oh, okay, right here, a little, okay. What is enticing to me is what I had to realize is what enticing everybody else. Why am I watching it? Whether it's Goofy, whether it's the Book of Enoch, whatever I'm watching, why am I watching it? And then knowing that if this is what's good for me, because I'm not acting, I'm being me. So it's easy for me to just fluently talk. When you're acting, you got to put the character on. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? At the end of the day, for me, it was simple. It was knowing what I want to do and knowing how I wanted to be presented. And then after that, it's just putting into activation. That's it. It's creating. You see it in your mind and you draw it on the paper. This is my form of drawing on the paper. To be able to sit here right now on my computer, I'm still figuring it out. That's what I want to always promote. You're never going to get it all, especially if we didn't go to school for this stuff. We're using our brains and our intellect and our comprehension of right and reason and making it work. They were spending millions of dollars to do this 20 years ago. You feel me? Like, we're spending a couple of thousand, maybe, if that.
Yeah, things have gone down in price, but
it's saturated. That's why. It's saturated now. Anybody can play tennis. Anybody can play football. It's saturated. It's like the commercial where the tennis players are playing and the old lady comes with the curler and the guy comes with the briefcase and they're all wanting to hit the ball. Anybody can do it now. So now you have to step out of the range of everybody else. That's why I go live. Because everybody can do a video. I can do a video and record a video, but going live, everybody can't do. So I just changed my lane of how many people I got to deal with. Going live, it can't be, it's hard to do. You watch newscasters get hit all day long. So my thing was going live. I go live and I could change my channels like you watch a TV and I can give you my own commercials. Guess what I created? A media center. That's it. give you music all night long while you sleep. And this is still an activate. It's not working yet. So if you go look at my page, you don't see it there. You hear the active thoughts that are coming into fruition as we speak. Like I said, I give it to you. I'm giving it to you because I already see it. You know, and I'm still figuring it out, but that's the walk. That's the journey of it all. It's the love of it. Like you said, I love it. So it's easy for me.
Definitely. I'm going to try to include live streaming a little bit more.
I see your face.
But I will try to incorporate it somehow.
I met you in person. I know you're a person. You're natural. You have a great conversation. You have a great head on your shoulders, man. Like when you say you're doing podcasts, I'm like, what? You see, I immediately make sure I logged you in, put you in.
Yeah, I'm legit. I would say coming up with a creative name for your podcast and finding your niche will be the third step. I just thought BPerryFilms Podcast would be interesting just because I didn't want to confuse people with a whole different name. So it was kind of like podcast. This is what I do. BPerryFilms. These are my trailers for the films that I'm working on. So less confusion. So what made you come up with the name that you came up with?
Well, my father's a producer and a singer, and he has a song called Cold Hard Facts of Life, Cold Hard Facts of Love by Frankie D and Flashback, Dunlight Productions. And it's like cold hard facts of love, the cold hard facts of living, you know. But listening to the song, you know, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna send you the link so you guys can have it. But just listening to the song and what they were talking about society, and back then it was AIDS was just out, and you know it was more of a song of awareness and trying to connect with the people and saying that what we say and do is what makes us us. So the cold hard facts of life and love is, you know, what we're living in. And so I figured cold hard facts. When I get on here, I'm gonna give you cold hard facts, and I call it the P.O.E Cast because first of all I wanted to put a spin on podcast. I think everybody's gonna got a podcast. I don't have a podcast. I have a P.O.E Cast. That in itself makes you, what the hell is a P.O.E? P.O.E, providing official entertainment and providing official education for the people on earth. So that's my little marketing guru spin that makes you catch on and say, that's original.
That's a nice model.
As original as you possibly can. Bobby Perry is as original as you can get. Ain't nobody else you see what I'm saying? It's being as original as you possibly can. And I have mad different podcasts, it's Reckless World 7 and Reckless and Storm Show. And, you know, it's, like I said, I'm everywhere. But I'm everywhere looking in and be like, yo, he's chaotic. But being here, it's fun because you never know what's going to happen. So like with me, it's like we might be in here laughing and joking and relaxing and a topic come up and I just hit, boom, boom, boom. We're live, let's go. You know, so I capture memories and moments. I capture, you can't, there's not no edit to this. You get caught out there doing it, you get caught out there doing it. So that's what I entice people with. You can't go live? So you don't know what you mean or you don't know how to say what you mean? Or do you really mean what you say? I provoke people to go live with me because everybody's got something to say.
That's true.
Put it on wax. We're gonna put it on. We're gonna make a CD about this and put it out so the world can hear it. Yeah, all right, what's this going right now? We can do it now while you fresh in the moment. You know, it keeps it, to me. It's also a way of keeping a lot of people away. I do church. I have the church people come through, bring the podium out. They don't go live. We do them, put the green screen and edit behind them and let them do what they do. So like I said, being my podcast, and then I'm not just a podcaster or YouTuber, I'm also a businessman. I also have my own media center. I have my production studio. I'm building a booth right now, not 10x6 booth. So like I'm a businessman too. So it's, even if I fail in one thing, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm
definitely,
a hustler, baby. You know?
Definitely you as a viewer, figure out if this is going to be a hobby for you or if this is going to be a business, because the approach is going to be so differently. It's like some people just want to be on all these different streams of social media for the followers and the likes and the subscribes and all this and that. But does it add value to you? Are these people rewatching your video? Are people watching your newer videos? You have to look into your analytics and really navigate through it. I know for me, trying to make this 10,000 subscriber mark, I don't get all my analytics. So I'm just focused on the view duration, seeing what people click off, what topics are people more interested in, because the way that they might interact with the guests might be different. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe they said something wrong. Maybe there was something that wasn't clear and that I could make another video about, or maybe someone wants more of that same content.
Right.
And maybe I should post more of that. So writing down in the comments is very important for me as a creator to understand what you like, not just liking the post, but actually giving me some type of feedback where I feel like there's some type of connection, not just doing like the streams.
I would say the one of the easiest ways for me is having the forum to where it's not delegated on one type of thing. That gives me the freedom to my next segment laughing and joking about Goku and Dragon Ball Z with a kid. You see? So my forum isn't, when you come on, it's just not, you're going to get entertainment and education. I just had, Munchie was just here, 4-year-old here, and she's doing her thing, and I put the little things up for her, and we had a great interview. So like those, to me, it's just about giving out moments of time. You know, I don't really look for, I have interviews that I do look for, but a lot of time I just look for passion and good feeling. You know, so if I'm not delegated into just being educational, well, I'm always educational no matter what I'm doing. So I'm gonna leave that there. But I can be entertaining with it too. You know, I don't have to have the suit on and tie. I can throw the hoodie on, or I can turn around and throw my bucket hat on, and you know, I can change the background and we're outside playing, or we can go outside and play. Like I just wanted to make sure that for me, to just be well-rounded in whatever information I want to give on. I'm not pseudo serious. You know, so like I like to laugh and joke, and I like to drink and smoke, and then I like to talk politics, and I love religion, and I love open-mindedness, and I love talking about dogs, and I love talking about, you know, the grass I got and how to get rid of crabgrass. Like I like to talk about so many things. So for me, that's why I said it's a podcast. Entertainment and education. And all I have to do is get you to realize, like, as a host, yo, he's cool to watch. He's entertaining, he's funny, he's serious. So I'm basically showing you all my acting abilities in one. But then I'm Gemini, so it ain't really acting, you know. But it's that for me, I found it easier to find my audience by having a broad range of topics and things that I do. Because like I said, if you have this setting 1 minute and then your next segment is, you might want to speak about the awards. You know, the biggest thing was Little Nas X. I'm like laughing, like, what is it to talk about? What is it to talk about? You didn't talk about it when Little Kim came out doing what she was doing. You didn't talk about it when, you know, Mobb Deep was talking about murder, kill everybody. So why are you worried about what he's doing now? Because you don't like it? Everybody got an opinion. So that's what I said, like, when you don't ground yourself into one thing, then you can do all things. You know, so my opinion is find your niche, but be open. You know, think about your family. My family is super Christian. I have a lot of Muslim friends, Vishua, Buddhists. So if I made my platform around religion and, you know, then it would only be one way, one dimensional for me. Some people can make it work, but for me, I say that's the biggest thing is what can you do for you? You might be the greatest, I might be great at going live, but be poor when it comes to doing edit videos. I might be clammy, I might not look the same. So, you know, it's about, like I said, man, I don't like to tell you what to do because there's no method of doing it. Do what you do, put forth the effort and see what happens. If you don't plant the seed, you're never gonna get a plant. And if you don't water the seed, it ain't gonna never grow anyway. She's still gonna end up empty. So you have to plant the seed and you have to water it. And what sprouts, sprouts. So what works for me and what I might think works for me, I'm gonna tell you it works for me. But I'm gonna tell you, anybody can do this. There's too many people blowing up out of nowhere off of just going in stores and singing all crazy. And then they're getting radio stations and they're being on Ellen and they're doing all these other things. So, you know, people aren't really, I'm focused more on, like you said, money, because it's a business for me. Most people are looking for fame, looking for a click. They're not getting paid off of their clicks. So, you know, it's to each his own. To each his own. Without you know, to each his own. But yeah, I'm open. I'll pick anybody, anything. I go with what I feel. I don't try to create a form. I am the form. I'm live. That's why I say I don't go live. My motto is I am live. When you're talking to me, even if it's not a live show, I'm still being me all the time. I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't feel like
he's very.
I don't feel none of that. Like God made me me. Who are you? Who should I be worried about when I open my mouth? You know, Moses, God gave it to Moses, right? Moses was scared, so he got Aaron. But he could have did it himself. I don't want an Aaron. I want to do it myself. You know, so that's why you see my logo. I do it myself. With my face emoji like this, I do it myself. Can't nobody tell me nothing. If I get rich, you can't tell me nothing. If I go broke, you can't tell me nothing. You know, so just be the best that you can do. Do you? I promote do you. Hashtag do you. Do you. Don't listen to nobody else. Do you.
The fourth thing that I would like to mention, as you already mentioned, is equipment. And I'll just say it like this. What you pay for is what you're going to get. If you think a $20 mic is going to work for you, good luck on that, because I would spend at least like $70 or $100 at least. I have a Blue Yeti. Haven't used it yet, but I know for when I have guests and stuff, whether I'm going to be in person or continuing doing it on my device, I need great audio quality. Right. And also, since I'm on YouTube, I have to make sure that the video quality is really well. So I shoot on my iPad because, you know, the iPads shoot better quality than the Macs, which I think is odd. But image quality is very important.
Definitely.
And figuring out what computer works best for you. And lighting.
Lighting's a big one. I mess with my lightings now. Lighting's a good one. Like I said, you're using a Yeti. I'll show you. I got the Rodecaster, this one. I got a Personas mic, and my mic's a 2-300. It means nothing. It means nothing. It's working with what you have. It's just about working with what you have. Of course, as you get better, you want to have a better sound. You want to have a better, but I don't want to tell anybody, oh, you got to go out there and get this type of mic, or you got to go get this, because I watch people take their iPhones and do iPhones every day and get on.
It's true.
Equipment, it's not equipment. It's here. It's just do you. You have something to say it. You know, just remember to be responsible with what you say. You know, everybody doesn't have a pure heart. Everybody's not open-minded. A lot of people walk around here subjective and emotional. You know, so to each his own. Like you say, once you have the information, what you do with it is on you. You can give the powers of the world and put it in a ball and give it to a baby, and he's just going to throw it around and break it because he doesn't know what to do with it. He's having fun doing what he's supposed to do with it. And adults going to treat it differently, you know, to understand what you have. Appreciation. So, like I said, in this world, man, I've watched the most clowniest, stupidest things get paid.
Yes.
People getting paid for going viral. 15 minutes of fame. You get to go to Ellen. You get to go over here. Give you a couple thousand to fly you out. You know, they give you groupie pay, and you get to come home and all your friends like, yeah, remember Bloom? And the people die happy. Yo, remember that time I had on Ellen? Yo, remember that time like I was on Jerry Springer? I got the beads. Everybody's looking for something to hold on to nowadays. You know what I mean? Like we're in a process world where everything's about imagery. We're pumped imageries all day long. So that's why what you get every day is what you get from your community. Our community, you get a lot of death and drugs, and because that's what's pumped to us all day long. So, you know, in the Midwest and in these smaller areas with the rednecks, they get pumped their own type of music, their own type of information, breeding racism and breeding all these type of things. This happens everywhere. So it's like, there ain't no method. There's no method. There is no method. You get a Fisher Price microphone and sit right here in the middle of the street and sing all day long and get picked up by an artist. Just do it. All I promote is do it. Do you. If you feel it, do it. Give it a chance. Move your feet. That's all you have to do. And God bless to you if you blow. Whatever it is you do, good or bad, I can't judge you. But just do it. That's all you have to do. You doing it is going to make somebody else doing it. Because I know when I did it, I made everybody around me start saying, yo, this is cool.
Yeah.
I felt great about it, though. Dudes came around and do their videos. They go live on their phones, getting thousands of hits, views, and shares. Not on my page. I ain't tripping. I'm just happy like, yo, I sparked this loon to do this, and look at what people loved about him, and now he realized he got a real talent in music. He didn't know it until he came over here and we was all laughing and joking. And then all of a sudden, your one song that you made not even thinking. Shout out to Wiz, the Cumberland freestyle. great artist, never did it, 2 songs, 3 songs, just coming out, but intelligent, smart kid. And played it up here. And do you know this? He immediately was at 1,000 views and 100 and something shares. And I'm looking at the analytics going, you got 1,000 views over 100 and something shares. Let's just put 5 on every time you share. Say 500 people seen this out of your 100 shares. Let's just say 5 people from each person seen it. That's 500. Now, if the song was out, they would immediately got it because it was right at that moment that everybody wanted it. They wanted to hear it. So I take that and go, okay, next time, and he learned it. Damn, I gotta put my song out. I can tell them all day long, but until they experience it and see it for themselves, it's what sometimes everybody needs a push behind it, you know? So our job is to make sure that we push people to be themselves, man. These forums push us to educate you, give them to educate themselves, learn how to maneuver, learn the business, knowing what an escrow account is if you're doing real estate, you know, understanding the nooks and crannies. But the best way is to just listen to what your audience got to say. When they chime in, they text in, saying, read it. Read the people who have something to say. Even if you don't like it, read it. That's your information to make you hot the next time, better the next time. People give you their opinions and then you don't show it. Why should they come back? Every fan is important. Not every view, every fan. Your fans are the ones who are going to support you no matter what. They like what you're doing. You could have been a criminal and now you're doing podcasting. So they don't care if you're talking about Fruity Loops or Snoopy the dog. They just love the fact you're doing good and they're going to share it. And that's what you want fans of you. You want fans of you, not views, but fans. You know, after being hot, in the end, how many fans you have? Who's going to be with you when nobody wants to put you in the forefront no more? Who's still going to buy your album when you drop it, you don't got the promotion no more? You know? So it's you want to go out there and you want to do you and acquire real fans. Don't look for views. Find people who like what you do and entertain them. After a while, you're going to start getting rid of people. But in the beginning, you got to open your fish net. You just throw it out there. You're going to get some crabs, some carp. You're going to get some salmon in your net. And then you start realizing you're picking up more salmon in this area. You're going to start making sure you're going to prepare for that. You don't need the crabs. You don't need the carp. Over here is a salmon right here. You know, and you got to, like you said, it's navigating through your own intelligence of what you receive from what you put out. You have to know your own analytics of who you are before you can watch YouTube. YouTube analytics will put you up there. And then, like you said, next week, ain't nobody watching your video.
It's true. So
you got to know how to read. Like you said, it's not even so much of, you don't have to be the smartest man in the world. But I believe I'm like top 5 in common sense. If you got common sense, you can prevail in anything. Common sense. I say godly common sense too. I have to do that. But common sense. That's the best way.
What do you think is the next step, number 5?
To keep doing it. And to learn from your mistakes, but to learn from the mistakes of others and keep crafting and keep building. A business, you're gonna keep building and building and building and building, and a kid keeps growing and growing and growing. Your hunger gonna always have to eat. So treat what it is that you do the same way.
Treat it like a sport. The only way I can be good at something
is child. Treat it like a child. But the first thing that you need to do and everybody needs to do is, if you can't get your people in your circle to believe in you, that's one of the most heart-wrenching things to deal with. When you can have the world loving you, but the people around you just don't. But you know what? I learned this. They ain't gonna never be able to see it. They've known you their whole life. That's Bobby. Oh, that's Ray. But why you ain't sharing it? It's free. Ain't nothing. I be caring about the ones who don't share it. I can have 1 million shares, and I be paying attention to the ones who didn't share it. I be in my feelings. But I feel like, because I believe in what I was always taught, it takes a village to raise a child. So for us being at the bottom and trying to work our way to the top, we need a village to help raise our baby. You need donations, you need money, you need funding.
Yeah, definitely building up.
It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah. It's easy to grab your phone and do it. It's not easy when you start spending money on computers and you really want to get a little bit deeper into it. When you spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 and you haven't recouped a dime, you can't get a light. Like, come on, it's 1,000 subscribers. All these people I walk past every day who say my name, I started making people subscribe in my face. I started getting rid of people by, yo, you subscribe? Oh, yeah, here, let me see. Here you go. I'll subscribe for them. Here you go. Especially if you my peoples, you should be subscribed. You should subscribe. I can get on you. You ain't subscribed? I don't know how to. Come here, Mom. Let me show you something. There you go. All the buttons, all personal. There you go, Mom. Sometimes you gotta put your feet in the ground and you gotta work yourself. You know what I mean? So it's so much you can do, man. Like I said, to me, I don't like saying it because I watch people do nothing and get everywhere. You know, so I just tell you what I learned from me. You know,
and don't get the script. I'll put this out there just to be transparent with everyone. Just because they got a lot of views doesn't mean that their view duration is high.
Exactly. Click on for 2 seconds and deter. Oh, I don't like that.
I think 30 seconds for YouTube is kind of as a view, but on Instagram, if you just swipe and it starts playing, that counts as an impression.
Yeah.
So don't take it.
They want to know how long. What's the duration of watching yours? Mine's like 17 minutes. Most of my videos is 30 minutes. 30 minutes or whatever. So I had a duration of 17 minutes of watching. That was the ratio of what gets watched. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, that's working. I can do better. And I'm still I'm still having problems with my visuals. So to me, I'm like smiling like, man, this is my gold mine. Somebody else's gold mine might be sports or the stock market. But I realize in my time, my era, and in my age, and in my presence, this is my gold mine. So I smile when I do this, man. And I hurt when it don't work. Like, this is my new sport. You know what I mean? I take pride in doing it, man. I take pride in everybody's doing it. So again, I'm just surprised, man. You've always say you've always been diligent about what you wanted. You didn't care what people thought, looks, none of that. You just always been genuine. So when I met you, you were genuine. We had a conversation and conversated off of being genuine. So the relationship is genuine. Now, it's not you get something from me, I get something from you. This is great to be sitting here on my man's podcast with him doing his thing. You know, so like...
It'll definitely be on yours. We got to schedule that. I think the last point that we should talk about, because we already broke down equipment, formatting, audience, finding your niche, and finding who you are as an individual. I think space is very important. Figuring out, like, is this room too noisy or too busy? Because things can get really distracting. And I know when you're doing audio only, people can notice the littlest things because that's the only format that you have if you're just doing base audio. But with video, people might not listen too much on the audio too harshly, but they might be more visual. But my audience is both audio and visual, so I have to make sure that my quality is really good.
Right.
Someone reached out to me, one of my peers, they were like, you definitely need to get a ring light. I was like, okay, I'll put that in the budget. But that's things that I didn't have in the beginning. And the more that I keep practicing, the more I can educate myself and keep producing more high quality videos. And maybe a year later, the color grading might be a lot better. The editing might be better. The content might be better. More interesting topics, more videos to click through. Like I said, it's a learning experience.
Definitely. It's like a baby. Your arms just starting to work, still eating, still on liquid foods. Now you're about to start getting to your solid foods, walking around a little bit. It's like a child. Everything you're doing is just like a child. Just look at it like that. First, you're being nursed, you're nursing yourself, and then you grow. That's, you're running and you're in school and you're educating, you're moving. So I just find the beauty in it all, man. It's just beautiful to be able to have something of your own, something you can leave for your children, something you can leave for your friends and your family to go look back and remember you on, like these are moments and times like when you're older and your grandkids, it's like, yeah, Pop used to such and such. Yeah, boy, look at Pop knows such and such, or he knows, wow. These connections you make now, we getting older. We're going to be the ones sitting up in higher places. Our kids are going to be coming up. So it's like you say, it's mind to tech mind and keeping great relationships, man.
Definitely.
This is just fun to me, man. It's hard to say when it's just fun to me. I love doing this. This is my passion. Talking, having fun, educating, and just dealing with my people. And when I say my people, I mean the human race, not a color. I think we're shades, not colors. So, it's a mindset, though.
Definitely.
That good mindset and setting it out there. So what you put out, you get back. You got a good heart, a good mind, a good way of walking. People are going to see you, man. You never know who will come across your podcast and be like, I like what he's doing and want to invest in you. That's what we all looking for. We at the bottom, a great investor anyway. Somebody
Definitely.
to help us get over that niche.
I definitely suggest to everybody, just don't go to the videos that have the highest subscriber count, because they might not even have the best content. Like for
Celebrity
information
source, I'm putting it out there. I don't like celebrity source. They put up
right
memes in the beginning.
support
And
the smaller
channels never there.
channel, because like you started in school, you didn't know everything. So this is your opportunity to give them some type of support or some type of incentive to keep on producing, because I know a lot of people get discouraged based off the numbers and all these different requirements that they keep adding. Transitioning into different platforms, what are your top two that you think that people should subscribe to? 2 or 3?
I say YouTube because that is the foundation at this very moment in time for most people with the visuals. But I'm loving TikTok and I'm getting into Twitch. Of course, Facebook is already there, Instagram's there, but like I like TikTok. I like TikTok to give them the entertaining side of me, and also using it as little clips for you to go and click on. Really about knowing how to put your clicks to be able to on this form to be able to click here, 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 or here to see you. It's having that. You need to have, if you're on Instagram and you're on YouTube and you're on Twitch and you're on all these different platforms, you need to have them all tagged in for the next person to see. It's like on Facebook, you got your website or your Instagram page, you hit the little Instagram thing and it takes you to your Instagram page. You have to create that for for yourself. And most importantly, get your own website.
Yeah, website that.
Website. You need your own website because you want to be able to, you use all of these other platforms to get you to your platform. So like this video, say you edit this video out and this video is 45 minutes long. You only give a clip of the juicy parts of it that you feel is juicy part away based on what you're talking about. You might put the question up and then me responding, however you do your editing, but you want to put that, the juicy part to make them, you want to watch the rest of the video, they should be able to click on that same page to go to that whole video. So like,
check that out. I learned something new.
Yeah, my website, I'm redoing my website. My website was Pro Caliber Entertainment. We're doing that now, but that's what you do. You want people to come to your website. As an independent, you need your own website. You need to have people come to your website for your merch. For the exclusive interviews, but you can only get clips of them on these other platforms. You have to have your own. You have to have your own website. That is one of the most mandatory things that a person will ask, well, what's your website? Oh, YouTube. And it's not your website. What's your website? Oh, you catch me on Facebook. What's your website? Did you spend $20 or $18 a month? You're not spending $18 a month for your own website. And bigger people look at you. Small people look at you doing this and like, whoa. But the business people go, so what's your, do you have your logo? Is your logo, is everything trademarked? Because a business is going to treat you totally different when investors.
That's true.
Are you a DBA? Yeah. Are you a DBA, C Corp, S Corp, limited liability, limited partnership? What are you? Because if you're doing this as a business, then you have to be a business. Do you have insurance? If I'm coming to your place to do a spot and something happens, do you have business insurance? Like these are little things that are not expensive. It sounds expensive, but it's not expensive. But you're gonna have to spend on it the same way you spend on your weed or your alcohol or your nails or your eyebrows or whatever it is. You have to spend. You have to spend on that baby that you have. You have to. It's got to have its own identity separate from you. So trademarking, make sure you got your logos, trademark, you have your title copywritten. People take your name. You watching right now, Bobby Perry, go ahead and copyright that real fast. And then you blowing up and blowing up and blowing up and blowing up, and I'm going, yeah, but that's all me. Like you're using my name. You're infringing on my copyright. What are you talking about? That's my name. But you didn't lock it in as your name.
True.
It's so much that's business. That's a whole call me for that conversation. That's business. That I know that very well. So that's the most important. Making sure that you have whatever it is that you do on the Bobby Perry Show must have its own lifestyle outside of these other platforms. You must have your home base. where you're gonna only get these t-shirts here. And if you subscribe here, like they do the Patreon now, like everybody's on a Patreon account for things.
Mm-hmm.
But have your own website, have people come to your website, because what happens is when you start generating product being sold, videos being watched, these other companies come to buy your show. So that's the way to think about it. Some people come buy your show, and if you're in the business, why not sell it? They want it for $2-3 million. I will create another one. That's what I do. I create. You know, don't ever think there's something wrong with selling the business either. The whole purpose is growing it up to see it blossom. So that's business. That's business 101, 102, 103.
Some websites that, well, you already mentioned Patreon. If people don't know, Patreon is another way to you accessing these creators, whether it's an artist, a singer, YouTuber, photographer. You get exclusive content, you subscribe to their membership, and they can make money on the side. Anchor, I'm not sure if you heard of that one, but that's made for entry-level podcasters. I know you can make money off of them a little bit quicker than most platforms. And they have access to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those different various platforms, but you just might have to edit saying subscribe to my Spotify, YouTube.
Are they, is that its own like media distribution? Like
yeah, it's kind of like
TuneCore. Like I can do all mine through TuneCore. I can have all my stuff on Spotify. I've been using TuneCore for my artists, and so I've been using that. But
and then Twitch, I recently found out about the live streaming. It's kind of like Clubhouse mixed with YouTube put together.
So how many we got? Like 25, 10, 15 different visuals?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you can just actually like call in time, kind of like FaceTime with multiple people.
With Twitch, I think it's YouTube's competitor. It's more like Clubhouse, where you have like a person on the page and they're telling you whatever, whether it's beauty or gaming or whatever their niche is. And then people can donate money to them. They can write in the comments and stuff like that, and they're responding back. I don't know the whole jits of how everything works because I never used it before.
Yeah.
But that's another platform. And you already know Apple Podcasts has been around for years. The last part that we're going to mention is way of monetization. For people that don't know, monetization is a way of you making money off of your hard work. Definitely AdSense. I'll break it down for YouTube. You have to have 4,000 watch hours and 1,000
subscribers
to start making any profit. Is there any other method that you know for podcasts?
Well, also going live on YouTube from your phone for mobile, you gotta have at least 50 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't even go live off your mobile without having 50 subscribers first.
And then you can only get 25 more at a time as well. Like there's kind of limitations, but you can use other apps like I do with Zoom, StreamYard, OBS,
that's how you use it.
And some other websites. Okay, what are some other methods of how you can monetize doing podcasts?
Of course, make sure you have your Chime link up or your Cash App or whatever system that you're using in order to transfer digital cash. Mm-hmm. You could definitely get into Bitcoin too. They do that too.
Mention to them what's Cash App, Venmo, and the other.
You want to have that logo. You want to have those logos up, but the biggest thing is you want to serve your people, your clientele, your fans, right? So when you're serving someone, you want to set it out. So you want them to have everything at a click of a button. Cash App, I should be able to click and go right to your Cash App. Click and go right to your YouTube. Click and go right to your Facebook. If you make all of these things about you accessible, then you are a one-stop shop. Even with your finances and monetization, like you said, with monetization, what a lot of people do and learn this fast, they buy their views. Mm-hmm. They buy their fans, they buy subscriptions. So even though they might have 10,000 subscriptions and 80,000 viewer times, individual viewing points, they paid for them. They're not being monetized. They can tell you they are until you don't open up and let me see that green button. But until then, everything's about pretending anyway. You know what I mean? Most people are doing it to just get around, look good to the people they're around. When you're doing it, like you said, as a business, it's more intriguing, it's more deep. Like I said, to me, it's fun. You learn a lot. I love to learn. Monetization comes from put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. And if you're down south, don't forget this. Still put stuff on disc.
Mm-hmm.
Still use CD, baby. Still use CDs. Those are to be the things that you sell that can't nobody get unless they buy it from you. You got to put your own title and worth on your. You might have a great interview or whatever it is. You might have something that you just like, whoa. This is for select people who really want this. Nipsey sold his out for, what was it, $100 a piece? $100 a piece? You got to put the price on what's important to you. You have to put a price on your value. Don't let nobody else put one on you. Put one on yourself. Donations, you're gonna get them. You can get donations a dime a dozen, but you can go out here and get donations right in your hand. Everything's not digital. You still got to go out here and work the people. You know, go to the churches, go to the mosques, go to the schools, do podcasts at the schools, the football games. Like, yo, I'll host a football game.
Mm-hmm.
Get involved with your community. Once you get involved with your community, you wouldn't believe how the elders are just looking for one of us youngins to do something before they go. Everybody loves to see somebody from that area make it. And everybody wants to say that they helped do it. But you have to put yourself to a certain standard before the people start looking at you as something worth investing in. Like you say, you're gonna have to keep doing your shows. You're gonna have to keep revamping and reintroducing yourself. And you have to make yourself a household name in the minds of these people. So like I use cold hard facts to P.O.E Cast. That's right, I said P.O.E, not pod, but P.O.E, P-O-E. Provide efficient entertainment, provide efficient education, people on earth. Doing that over and over, it becomes a joke at first. P-O-E, but now you don't forget it. The hell is that? Provide efficient. We got a podcast. How you gonna look that up? Getting people to talk about you. The issue is the issue, but what you did to enlighten the issue is what you want them to talk about. You don't want them to click onto that. You want to click onto you. Yo, he go. But I love the way he sit down. Man, listen, the way he handles his interviews. He edits. Yo, I love that. It's a professional look I need. You know? It's like you said, you're going in a professional area. You're moving in a great direction. So your methods and my methods are totally different. But that's the beauty in it all. Everybody's method is going to be individually different. There's a platform to use. So know the platforms. But it's okay to create and dare to be different. Try something new. They say, oh, you can't use this. If you can use it, use it. I just love to say the Soulja Boy thing. When Fruity Loops used to be trash, oh, Fruity Loops is not a good program. You have to have Logic or you have to have whatever. You can't be using this. You have to use Cubase. And the man blew up and made millions and millions off of you, Soulja Boy. And his marketing scheme was what? He went on YouTube, put everybody else's name on there, and then when you clicked it, his song came up.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know how to manipulate. The game is here. You have to figure out a way. I'm telling you what my pops always tell me. Leave you with this one. A magic trick. When you see a magic trick, don't spend your time trying to figure out how he did it. Figure out how you're going to perform the same trick your way. He might have cuffed the ball. You might drop it down your sleeve. Just present the same trick. How you create it, how you make the magic happen, it doesn't have to be a method of somebody else. But you have to figure out a way to make the magic happen. You know, so you got to know the system. You got to know what the rules are, what's not. What can you say, what can't you say? What can you put up that's not plagiarism? And what you can't put up? Like, what can you say without putting yourself in a hole? You know,
Agreed.
so it's intelligence. This is an intelligent game, but it's an intelligent game on common sense. You just have to deal with common sense, commonality, and doing the others as you want them to do unto you.
I think the next one for monetization is sponsors. Sometimes they come to you or you can come to them. They just need to see what you're about, what your niche is, like having like a clear vision of what your messaging is, because each sponsor could require a certain type of niche or some type of style. And this could be looked at as, I'm getting paid a few $100s, whether it's $200, $300 for maybe a 30-second ad or a minute ad where you show their website, how to navigate through it, and showcasing your honest review. Most likely they're going to say it's positive, but someone like me, I would only be able to sponsor if I really believe in the product. I wouldn't want to market something that I wouldn't use in my daily routine. Like when I heard about Notion, I was like, this is really overwhelming, but I'm gonna test it out for the journaling. And guess what? It became a little bit easier for me, but I had to get through that stage of let me learn how to use this website.
Right. That's what it comes down to, knowing how to utilize the materials that you have in order to produce. It said you can use anything. You can use a ring light. You can use I have a whole different type of light setup. You just have to dare to be different and love doing what you do. It's so hard when I've seen people. My daughter got $4.2 million on a TikTok and she's playing with my grandson doing this. She got sponsors.
Wow.
So Brazil Hatcher, Zilla. But like to me, seeing that, I got to witness that with my child. I'm like, 4.2 million views. She's like, yeah, Dad, they want to send me sponsors, blah, blah. And in my brain, I'm going, what? I'm older. I'm thinking, we need to make more videos like this, and I'm thinking like that. And she's a kid. She's enjoying her life. And enjoying life got her that. Got her those, she got to understand what sponsorship is. People want her to do little things. Part of the business some of us never seen yet. I can watch a child do it with one video. You see what I'm saying? So like I said, I try to refrain from pushing an agenda of what you should do even when it comes to questions, because I've seen people just have fun, and them having fun was what worked. It wasn't the microphone. I've had the Yeti. I've had all of them. It wasn't the microphone. I thought it was. It was me. Same equipment. I can come in here now and rock you with no problem. It's just you, man. You're selling you. When you get up on here, you put yourself on the camera, you put your voice on, you're selling you. So don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself cheap. That's all. If you don't buy your sneakers out of ShopRite, then don't make ShopRite sneakers for the world to hear and see. You buy your sneakers from Foot Locker. You don't go to ShopRite. You buy food from ShopRite. You know what I mean? So make sure, like, it's just a responsibility. It's not hard though. It's just responsibility and paying attention, because we're in a world of information, and what works today will not work tomorrow. Big companies have failed within the last 10 years, and new companies come out of nowhere. There's no structure right now because the internet allows you, the internet is almost a demigod. You can ask it anything and it has an answer for you. So you have to figure out a way to get people to ask questions. That's all. What's the biggest topic of the world? The mindset of the world. Russia, China. The bigger things that people care about, that's long lasting. Those are your audiences. The elders are actually your audiences. 35, 40 and up are the most grounded audiences right now. There's no music for them, so they're listening to old school music, going back to their time. New music doesn't work for them. So that's what it is. That's the biggest, to me, I say, especially for you and what you do, that's the biggest market right there, is your age demographics. And then, like you say, social demographics, knowing your micro and your macro segmentations when you're doing it. It's easy. Look it up. It tells you analytics where you get watched over here a lot. If you're on TuneCore, tell you, well, you get all your views from over here in Minnesota and over here in Ohio. You had a certain amount of people who streamed and watched it. So you're like, okay, and you know what? The analytics are blueprints to success. You just have to know how to read your analytics. See, so, and you saying that within itself, it dawned on me. You have to know how to read your analytics. Know what information is coming in and know how to work that information. Knowing what, like you said, what's best to speak about. You might say, I want to do this, that, and the third, but the one conversation over here you had, it became the biggest thing in your life. Now you find yourself over here like, well, I'm torn. It's okay. It's okay. As long as you learn something different, it's great to be surprised with something new. Nobody wants a repetitive, same old. So you want to be smart, man.
Definitely. I'll wrap up by saying, if you want to start a podcast, start now. Get inspired by this video, and also watch my other video about finding yourself, finding your voice, finding your passion, because you need to be self-aware about where you want to get yourself into and figure out what audience that you're trying to reach out to. Make sure that you pay attention to your analytics, get the equipment that you need. Start out small. You can start out on your mobile device. I currently use an iPad for Zoom, so that just showed you. That you can use any device. Just make sure it's high quality. Make sure that your mic is good. Making sure that you do enough research. You have to be a student first.
Yes.
Because if you do not provide people with valuable information, they're going to tune off, or you might get shut down. YouTube and other platforms have closed down a lot of people's channels, if you haven't noticed, and they're really getting strict on their rules and regulations. seems like every other week they have a new regulation.
Yeah,
But
that's another thing too. You have to fight sometimes. Sometimes they will take. I had a video taken down for music for copyright. It was my music. It was my music, and somebody can report you.
that's true.
It's just the whole game is crazy. But like I said, gotta love it, gotta live it.
Definitely cross promote on different platforms, build your audience. You're gonna start from zero like everyone else and work your way up to 1,000, maybe 10,000, a million, whatever works for you. Um, Figure out ways to monetize your channel, whether it's through Kickstarter, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo, ads, memberships, or any other types of form of income. Just figure out what you want to do for yourself and figuring out what your audience wants from you and build up that relationship.
And that business card, very, very, very important.
Business card everywhere you go.
You need to have a business card. You need to have a business card, because if you have a business card, you can meet somebody at the laundromat, the shopping center. If you love what you do, you're going to talk about it when you bump into people. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing this. Exactly.
Here's mine. I carry it everywhere I go.
BPerryFilms. Coming soon. That's right. Damn, man. Thank you, man. It was a blessing, man. Thank you for having me on, man.
Of course. And what are platforms that people can find you on?
Go to YouTube, the P.O.E Cast. The P.O.E Cast, not Pod, but P.O.E. P.O.E. Providing official entertainment, providing official education for the people of the earth. Cold hard facts, the P.O.E Cast. You're going to see it. It says the P.O.E, cold hard facts. That's what it is. You can also find us on YouTube. Reckless and Storm Show is going to be popping up on YouTube. So you can type that in if you want. You can also type in Wasted Entertainment, Getting Wasted with A. It'll send you to the same site. Like I said, we are a media center. Facebook, Built From Scratch, the label, Built From Scratch, and Pro Caliber Entertainment, P.R.O. Caliber, C.A.L.I.B.E.R. Go there, you get a lot of information on music. I do podcasting, I do an array of different things, live jokes, TikToks, just a one-man gang of entertainment and education. And my co-host, come here, let her get in here real fast so you can see the co-host. She's been in the background. If you see me looking sideways.
Hi, everybody.
Hi there.
Hello.
And this is Storm from the Reckless and Storm Show, and she also has Spark It Up coming up soon under the blanket of the family. Built From Scratch, the Media Center, Cold Hard Facts, the Media Center. So we're here, man.
Nice to meet you. Definitely support my Kickstarter campaign. We're trying to raise as much money as possible so I can start my web series for next year. The link will be in the description. You can find me on Clubhouse, Instagram, and YouTube at BPerryFilms, and I'll have everyone's link in the bio description. And thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you, man, for having me.